Well, excited to get on the floor back home against a very good Boise State team that's coming off an 8-day layoff. They're well coached. Leon does a great job. Degenhardt and Cardenas are two of the best players in this league, and we will have our hands full. But hopefully the fans will be here, which I know they will, and we'll give the kind of effort that will allow us to get back on the winning track here at home.
What are some important aspects of the game against Boise that you guys are really kind of focusing on?
Obviously, it starts with Degenhardt and Cardenas. Cardenas is in the top 10 in the country in assists per game. Degenhardt is preseason MVP of this conference and playing like it again right now. So we will have our hands full. Obviously, both teams will make adjustments from the first game, and that's the thing we've seen more this year. This is a lot of good coaches in this league. And the second time you play someone is not like the first time. So we'll see what adjustments they've made over 8 days. Obviously, there'll be game time adjustments like we had to make at San Jose at halftime. So this is where head coaches earn their money a little bit, see what the other guy's doing, make the necessary adjustments, and try to find a way to win a game.
Once you're into the game, once the clock starts, how long does it take normally to kind of figure that out and see what they're doing?
Yeah, usually it's how they're going to play ball screens. That's what we spend a lot of time on. How are we going to defend ball screens? When it goes in the post, how are we going to play that post? Are we going to double? Are we not going to double? Who are we going to come off? And usually those are things you see right away, and you have to make adjustments too. So we doubled them the first game, so I'm sure they spent a lot of time on post double. Ball screens we switched. So you obviously go into any game with plan A, but you have to have plan B ready to go. And that's every coach and every team in the country.
Leon spoke yesterday quite a bit about how when he first got in the league, he looked at you guys and said, okay, I looked at my roster and I looked down the bench at their roster and he said, I don't have those guys on my roster. And he changed his roster. And then he said he changed their emphasis on defense because of you. And then he changed the way they teach defense because you can't just emphasize it, it's how they're teaching it. Be more physical and not foul. How much have you noticed of that over the years?
Yeah, not only them, but New Mexico. I mean, these are big physical teams, and they don't give up a lot in the paint. They stay in front of you. They have size and length, and they look like we do in a lot of ways. And so it's because we've hung 16 banners in 25 years. And so to hang banners, there's a certain way you play. It's like the WCC trying to find a way to be more like the Zags and more like St. Mary's. It's every conference in the country. Who's winning the league and how are they winning? And obviously we've done it with defense and rebounding. And so teams in this league have become a lot better defenders, and they find a way to get stops, and that helps win games.
So you see a team like Boise who's had a lot of success in this building against you, a lot of success against you over the last few years. You just have to blame yourself a little.
Yeah. No, you have to blame Leon for being a really good coach with really good players. I mean, the 2 times we've lost in here, they've been incredible. I mean, the COVID year, the game's in the 30s, and last year, a competitive game, Max Rice hit a 3 from almost midcourt. So these are competitive games, and so it's going to be that way again tomorrow. I don't know how the game will go or what the pace of it will be, but I know it'll be hard fought and heavily contested. And it's a good rivalry. I always say that. Some rivalries are nasty, but these are 2 teams and coaching staffs that respect one another, that play the game the right way, play it hard, and do everything it takes to try to win.
Is there a particular focus on rebounding for this game? I know it was kind of focused on round 1.
Yeah, we complain about our rebounding every day, that we don't rebound it well enough. We have to become a better rebounding team. But if you look at the Mountain West standings, we're the top offensive rebounding team in the league, and we're the 3rd-ranked defensive rebounding team in the league. So, and we feel we have to be better at it to reach our potential. So the numbers say one thing, but our eyes say something else. So we have to rebound the ball tomorrow. That's why we won the first game at Boise, was our offensive rebounding. They know that, we know that. So it's going to be probably a collision in the paint tomorrow and see who can win the rebounding war.
We're not going to have a chance to talk to you again before Fresno State. Looking ahead to Fresno State, what do you see from that?
Well, Fresno State will be the first team that we'll see 40 minutes of zone. It won't be a possession or 2 to try and change the pace of a game. It will be zone. And they're good at it. And so we have to make sure over the 2 days we prepare for that game that our zone offense is everything we want it to be.
In terms of Boise and what, they've been playing very well lately, and they have a layoff. I mean, how much of a different Boise team do you expect to see?
Well, they always have great set plays, and I'm sure they've had something in the library that they've gone to try to give us a different look or two. I know they probably emphasize rebounding because we out-rebound them in the first game. So if I'm a coach, that's what I'm going to look at, ways to rebound, and then how they're going to attack our ball screens. How they're going to attack our ball screen defense and how they're going to get baskets out of the post if we decide to double again. That's all things any coach would do, and I'm sure they've had 8 days to look at it. And as important as anything, those 8 days is let's give them a couple, 2 or 3 days to rest. This has been a hard, long season for all of us, and so I'm sure they've got some rest in there too. They're not foolish enough to say let's practice 8 straight days. Trust me, they've taken a day or two off in there to try to be fresh down the stretch.
Do you feel like your team turned a corner in the second half against San Jose State, or is this still such a young team that you're going to walk out there and really have no idea what you're going to get?
Oh, every game is its own entity, So the one thing we have proven we can do is come from behind. It's something you don't want to do, but like I said, I don't know if any team since I've been here that's gone as many runs as we have. 20-0, 18-0, 17-0 runs. And for the same team in the same year. Usually we talk about that once every 5 years, a 20-0 run. But we've done it 3 times. I think we're 6-1 this year in games decided by 5 or fewer points. I don't know if we played that many close games in a long time. So every season is different, every journey is different, and this team is still trying to find its way through this journey.
With Boise and Fresno, knowing that they're going to be changing up their game plans so much, how much can you rely on past history and past tape from this year, knowing that they're going to change it up? How much can you rely on?
Yeah, I mean, they're well coached, and so they may start with plan A, and if it doesn't work, they're not opposed to going to plan B, which they may start, trying to keep the ball screens on the sideline, keep us locked on the sideline. And if we start hurting them and we do some things, then they're not afraid to switch every ball screen like we do. They make game time adjustments. And so if the plan's working, they'll stay with it. If not, they'll find something else to do, much like we do. We go in with a preconceived notion this will work, and when it doesn't, we're not afraid to adjust.